Hello, I'm Paul Friedman. Welcome back. If you're here for the first time, then welcome. You have found a place where we speak about marriage in very positive terms. Now, I know this topic is a tough one. This is signs your marriage can't be saved, but I have to tell you that we take the contrary view of this. Why? I used to be a divorce mediator back in 2001, and then a couple of clients asked me to help them save their marriage. They had gone through all of the marriage counseling that was available to them, and it was pretty good by normal standards. I worked with the best, the most appreciated marriage counselors in San Diego County, and the people came to me after they tried that. And even at that time, I thought, okay, well, here's a good reason why their marriage can't be saved. Here's a good reason why theirs couldn't be saved. And truly, there were some marriages that I thought, wow, these people should not be getting a divorce. I don't know why the marriage counseling didn't work. But then when this couple asked me to help them save their marriage, and I agreed, I took a deep dive into marriage. And because I'm not a Western psychologist, I was a divorce mediator, which means I'm very pragmatic, goal-oriented. Let's reason through this. I believed, as most people believe, that communication was usually the problem. And I did a deep dive into marriage, and I discovered things about marriage that were shocking, to be honest with you. I was divorced at that time when I became a divorce mediator, and I used to blame all kinds of outward things. I didn't understand marriage, but now I have a different appreciation of marriage. Been doing this now, it's 2024, 23 years. And at the Marriage Foundation, we save thousands of marriages every year. And we do it using my discoveries. The number one discovery that I made was that there's an actual purpose for marriage, actual reasons that we get married that transcend all of the normal reasons of I want to be with my soulmate, I fell in love, I want to have a family. The actual reasons why we want to get married is because we want to be happy. And we believe, and it's rightly we believe, that marriage will bring us tremendous happiness. So I'm going to give you kind of the short version, but I understood something very deep in my discoveries and my research. My research wasn't reading books or asking people, but really drilling down. So I believe in God, and what I realized through this was that God is a loving God, right? He loves us. God is not this king sitting on the throne and deciding who's going to get this, who's going to get that, who's going to be punished. God loves us. So it stands to reason that if he loves us, he would set up marriage in a way where we can become so happy, we're his children, that we can't stand it. And that was a big revelation for me. And then I realized, that being the case, we must not know how to be married. And so that's how the Marriage Foundation came into being, because I started working with couples, over 200 couples through the years, who I use my discoveries with, because I completely abandoned mediation, divorce mediation, just got into this, and developed all these processes of learning and applying so that people can get the most out of their marriage. So people would come to me and they go, I don't think you could save my marriage, but so-and-so told me that you're good, so I want to give you a try. And I heard things like, well, you're very straightforward, you're very candid, you get to the heart of things. And all of that is true, but not to be brutal. but to be useful, because there's a mechanical component in marriage. So for instance, what's a sign your marriage can't be saved? I mean, to be fair, I'm going to have to give you some signs, so to speak. So one sign is that you're already separated and your spouse has already moved on, they're with someone else. That's a sure sign. Another sure sign, if you're a man, is that your wife cheated on you. And I don't want to get into all the reasons why, but the other side is not true. If your husband cheated on you, far from being the end of your marriage. So I want you to understand, number one, decide. You have to decide, I'm going to save my marriage. Then you could write into our counselors, it's a free service, tell them what's going on, and they'll be candid with you. Usually they'll just give you the short version. Yeah, your marriage can be saved. Get the course for women or get the course for men, and it can happen. Because we don't have the same context as the psychological community. Now, we train our own marriage counselors. You could become a marriage counselor. You don't have to be a psychologist to be a TMF marriage counselor. In fact, in many cases, it works against you. Now, we do have many marriage counselors who used to be psychologists, Western psychologists, and they still are. They still have their license and all, but they use only our stuff because it works. So, you know, some comments I'm going to get now on this video is, you didn't answer the question, but I tried to answer the question in a way that really helps you. I don't want you to get a divorce. You don't want to get a divorce. You do want to know, well, how do I know it's the end? And I gave you a couple of ways to know that are pretty certain. But mostly I want you to learn how to be married. And I want you to get that out of your mind, that there are signs, and get it into your mind that you probably can recover your marriage, but more than that, you can turn it into what it's meant to be. A life of joy, a life of love, a life of harmony, which is why we got married in the first place. So here's the bottom line for this video. Forget about signs. Write to us. Just go to our website and you'll see where you can write to a marriage counselor, a TMF marriage counselor. Ask them, but get the course for men or get the course for women. It's guaranteed. You get a 3-day free trial. We've been around a long time. We never cheat anyone out of their money. But it works. And that's what counts. You got to shift and go, you know what? And here's the truth. Western psychology doesn't know diddly about marriage. And we know everything about marriage. I'll give you an example. Did you know what I mentioned before, that we get married to be happy? It's so obvious, right? But we don't think in those terms, and so we don't do the things that bring happiness into our marriage. Did you know that we get married because we want to experience that deep love, not the emotional love, because that's not really love, that's of the mind? No, we're not taught this. In fact, we're not even taught that our mind is separate from us, so to speak. It's a possession of ours, and so we can control it. Did you know that we get married in order to have harmony? Did you know that pure logic dictates that God made marriage for us to experience ever-increasing happiness, ever-expanding love? Did you know that? I'm telling you, it's a fact. And it's not a fact because I thought of it one day. It's a fact because we have the experience to prove it. And that's what we're all about at the Marriage Foundation. So begin by going to the website, download the free top 10 do's and don'ts for marriage, explore what we have, and if your marriage is now at a crossroads, or you think it is, get the course for women or get the course for men, and by yourself you can transform your marriage. You don't need your wife or your husband with you. This path works, absolutely works, and that's what counts. Now, I'd like to ask of you to like this video, to subscribe. It helps us reach more people. Leave a comment if you'd like. Make it positive if it can be. If it can't be, just go on. And I appreciate your coming here. I am Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. I created all this stuff. And I really appreciate you. I wish you only the best. All of us only wish you the best. So like the video, leave your blessings. We offer our blessings to you. Thank you. Take care.